Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I know this is crazy. 2 videos in hopefully a good time span, which is shocking. But if you are new to this channel, this is where I talk about houseplants and do DIYs. So if you are interested in that, wow. If you are interested in that, be sure to subscribe. And if you are a recurring viewer, thank you so much for coming back and watching another video. Today we're going to be doing, shocker, another massive repot. So if you caught my last video, I have kind of been neglecting my plants, honestly. We moved, season is crazy, December is always busy, holidays, lots of things going on, and so I truly have neglected a lot of my plants. I also stated in my last video that I got rid of a lot of plants, particularly because I don't have room for them. I mean, I have room for them, but I don't have enough light for them. And so I just thought it better to get rid of what I could and keep the ones that I really am interested in and want to grow. And so I have done that. I have got down to probably 70 plus plants now from like 100, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is for me. Anyways, I now need to go through the ones that are in desperate need of a repot and really look at some of the things that are going on with them, because some of them do not look good, and I will show you that. And there's some of my favorite plants. So I am going to be going through all of those today and sharing them with you and repotting. And so yes, let's get into it. Let's start out with an easy plant that I know needs to be repotted, but it hasn't been in probably a year. And that's the Ficus shibriana. So I actually got this, I don't know, probably, honestly, it could be close to 2 years ago now. And it's sat in this pot, which is kind of crazy because when you hear ficus, typically you hear lorata, and it's incredibly difficult to care for. It's actually not, and I have a video on that, and you can go check it out. But they are finicky of being moved out of their space. They like to stay where they started, and they don't like to move out of that. This guy is a rubber tree version, so it's a lot less temperamental and finicky, and it has proven itself that because it's been perfect. Like, it's sat in this pot and it has not fussed at all, and it's actually a really beautiful plant. This, a couple years ago was a super high costing plant for whatever reason, and it was one of those trendy house plants that you saw everywhere. And so I kind of bypassed it. Typically I do that. I'll bypass them until they get to a lower cost. And that's what I did with this one. I found this for, I'm going to say $15 maybe, at a local nursery. And I picked it up because it was very beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, like when the Shiverianas came out, I thought they were very pretty. However, I knew I was not going to care for one because they need high light, and number two, I was gonna pay that much for a ficus, like just a rubber tree. But I did pay, I think, $15 for this guy, and I think that it's beautiful. It's very easy to grow. It does require a lot of light, but I do not water it that often. I let it dry all the way out, and it doesn't seem to mind. But it does need a bigger pot. I want this guy to grow larger, and so it needs to go bigger. Now, these two plants right here are some cuttings of my Scindapsus, Satin Aurea, Jade, whatever, Scindapsus, and they're doing pretty well. But as you can see here, this one, I just keep forgetting to water them. They sit in my greenhouse cabinet, lost that leaf. It's very upsetting. And so I'm actually just going to combine these into a bigger pot, and just hoping that I'll remember to water them more often, because currently they're not getting what they need at all whatsoever. Now I have a bunch of plants over here to the side of me that I'm gonna go grab because they need help. Starting with my gloriosums. This is a yikes plant right here for me. Look at all this. This is not good. So I propagated these and grew them, and some of them are doing okay, and then others are truly just doing terrible. Like this one leaf wonder that I've got right here. And so I need to get them. This one's actually doing really well. Maybe I won't do that. Maybe I'll just leave this guy. But I need to pot them up together because I forget to water them all the time. They're in my greenhouse cabinet. They sit to the back and they just get extremely neglected. Now, are they still growing? Yes, this guy's still growing, but look at it. It's terrible. It's terrible. And it's one of my favorite plants. I love the gloriosum. I think that they are beautiful. I have a mother plant that sits in an east-facing window in a long pot because these are crawlers, not climbers like typical philodendron that you see. And so I'm just going to pot them all together and see what happens. I probably will leave this one off because it's doing the best, but for sure this guy and this one, they're going together. And I think I'm going to pot maybe this guy just with it. I don't even know right now. It's still several months out now from a pop-up that I do. I'll do it in the spring, and so I can always go in and split them because that's what I did. I sold them in 4-inch pots like this, and so this one's actually doing really well. I just need to water it. But that is, I'm just gonna put these back. But those three, I think are just gonna go to one pot, and I'm going to stick them somewhere where I will remember to water them. Now these two plants. So this plant right here, I'm watering way too often. This is an Epiprimnum marble, pinnatum. It's a split leaf Epiprimnum, and it's beautiful. However, again, I have forgotten to water it. So the leaves are dying and just not happy because it needs to be in a bigger pot. I need to remember to water it, and so I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it in a larger pot, and I'm going to remember to water it. This guy, this is my, what are you, a Burley Marks Fantasy Philodendron. Don't need to look at the tag, I remembered. It got attacked by thrips, and so it's got some damage at the top. The thrips are now gone, and everything is back to normal, but you can see all that damage of the leaf. But it was doing really beautifully. Look at these massive leaves. It came with these 3 little leaves, so this big leaf, and then this little leaf, and then all of this up top, it's pushed out in my care. I have this sitting right at the top of my shelving unit with a Santee clip light directly on it, and it seems to be doing excellent. I have not dealt anything else like with it. Dries out fine. The thrips obviously was a problem, but that was taken care of by Jack's Dead Bug Brew. Otherwise, it's been a pretty simple plant to care for. It just needs a larger pot. This is a bit ridiculous, and typically I would tell you, even if it's large foliage up top, doesn't necessarily mean that you need to repot your plant. But roots are now growing out the bottom, and I know that I need to repot this plant. So those are what I've got. Got this massive big guy, I've got those guys, and honestly I have more that I could do, but I don't know that I have enough soil for those other plants. So at this time, they might just have to stay that way. But these are the plants that I'm like, no, I need to do something about these before I completely lose them. And in order to do that, I'm going to sacrifice some 3 plants here, because also the reason that I haven't been repotting plants is I've run out of soil, and I have just been too lazy or not, caring, and I've not ordered more soil mix to make. And so this is what I am left with currently. Oh, I remember one plant that I actually need to get. I'll do that in a second. And so I'm going to take these pothos that are also sad and need to just go away. They just need to be done with. I'm not going to worry about them. I have plenty of golden pothos to go around, and it's not like I can't get more of those pretty easily at any store or just up top here. And so I'm just getting rid of these. I'm sorry. Okay. So these are going to be throwaways. I'm going to use the soil that was on them because they were in my soilless mix. Sorry, buddies. See you later. Gosh. Okay, you're going down here now. Bye-bye. Okay, there was one more plant that I totally forgot about that absolutely needs to be repotted, and it is important to me. It is my Anthurium pallidiflorum. So look at this beautiful thing. I got this in February from Green Acres in Irving, and I think that it's just a beautiful plant. Super easy Anthurium to care for, actually. I let it dry all the way out. It is in a soil mix in this little plastic pot that it came in. It sits in my greenhouse cabinet, and I just have it on the very edge, and it just hangs over like this, and then all of the leaves grow. But this is a very strappy, velvety, soft Anthurium, and it's just so interesting to look at. And originally I got this because it mimicked the Patriciae philodendron that I really wanted, but it was just difficult to find. I actually did get a philodendron Patriciae. Wow, that was tongue twister in Florida this year, and it's been doing really well. It's actually sitting on top of my greenhouse cabinet, but I love this plant. I love this anthurium. I think that it is amazing, and I have 2 queens to go along with it and several other little anthuriums, but this one is kind of started to be my favorite, and again, it was an unexpected purchase, but it definitely needs to be potted up now. It's got a lot of good thick roots in there, which are dark green, and I know you can't see that because I just watered this plant, but all along this, and so it's time to pot it up into an actual pot, not a little plastic cup like it's in. So those are the plants that I need to now get a hold of and pot up. Now, it's also the problem is I've been running out of pots lately. So I've not had a lot of pottery in larger sizes, and that's why I've kind of also put this off. But I've consolidated, again, my plant collection, and I think I have found some pots that are able to hold all of these now. So I've got to go get those too. All right, we're going to be running out of space here. Okay, so these are the pots that I have. Here, here. This is a cachet. Alrighty, so where do I want to start? Because not all of these need probably this large of pot, honestly. I didn't really think about that. Like this guy. Yeah, he'll go in that one. You'll go here. Where am I going to put you? You'll go there. I think I'm going to put my gloriosums in this because it's a lot deeper pot. And I think they'll all do really well in that. Yeah, we're just gonna put you there. Now, for my Ficus Shibriana, wow, this is already too much. I think I'm just gonna stick you in that one. Great. And then for you, I'm gonna stick you in here. Okay. All right, that's way too big of a pot for that and this. So I'm going to have to go find a bigger or a smaller, not so big pot. For these 2 plants right here and for my pallidiflorum, because putting it in this plant or putting these 2 small plants in this one big pot, it's not going to work. It will drown them, and so I don't want to do that. And so I will find a larger pot for those guys momentarily. But for now, we're going to just combine these gloriosums because that is easy to do. I am going to just keep the soil that they're in. I might just... How am I going to do this? Still haven't found my potting mat. So we're just going to do it like this. 1. Is this a bigger pot? Oh yeah, maybe that'll work. Maybe this will work for this. Maybe, I don't know. It's not really going up a size, but okay. This one. This one. And this one. Leftover pothos. I'm not really going to have to fill in much because they all pretty well cover it. But now, I'm just not going to have to worry about watering every single one of them. I can just water all 3 of them at the same time. As I said, these are crawlers. They don't like the highest light, I've noticed. They do better in a east-facing window, a little pulled back. These are under my CNC 5-watt grow lights, and I can tell that they dry out just way too quickly. Again, it's the small pot size, it's the small. I think it's also the velvet leaves. I don't know, but this leaf is going to go. Sorry to those who keep yellow leaves. I don't. And this leaf is going to go. Oops. Those 2 leaves are going to go. Beautiful pot. I will water this in a moment. I will water it. These are thrown away. All right, we're going to pot up this guy next, possibly. Yeah, we're going to do you next. This guy also sits in my greenhouse cabinet, but I had this in an east-facing window, and it did really well. Wow. The roots, yeah. Oof. The roots are really thick and nice. These are actually 2 plants in one that I potted up. I purchased these from Succulents Empire in Florida when I went this year. I'm going to be running out of soil way too quickly. Repotting is done. Beautiful. Love this plant. I will have to find a new home for it because this will not fit in my greenhouse cabinet. That's okay. Okay, now, which plant am I going to do? I kind of want to wait on my Shibriana because I don't think I'm going to have enough soil, and I really want to repot this Fantasy here. So we're going to do the Fantasy first. This is in the same soil mix and pot that I got it in, and I didn't get this that long ago. Probably, again, earlier this year, maybe. But let's see here. I'm going to keep it. The roots look good on it. They are at the bottom, but not as much as I was expecting, actually. So we're just going to repot it. Maybe it'll grow a little bit more. That's about it. That's all I'm getting out of it. And it needs a better staking system, but it is what it is right now. Probably should have a moss pole, which I do have moss poles out in my garage, but that would require a bigger pot, and just not going to do that right now. But, yeah, okay, well, that one had exactly enough soil to pot it up. Sorry, I almost dropped it. I don't know what I'm going to do about the other ones because I really need to repot them, but I don't have any soil. So I'm looking around and seeing if there are any other plants I can sacrifice. I think these two actually will fit in this one pot right here and be okay. So I'm just going to do that really quick. And this was more so I could just keep up watering them, not needing a bigger pot by any means. Just broke that leaf off. Because these are still very immature cuttings. Also, I just want to point out that I did need to repot some plants, so I went to Lowe's and purchased their like chunky soil mixture for orchids and stuff, and then added some peat moss. Okay, anyways, I got cut off, but yeah, I purchased them just to like hold me over. Don't like it. It's terrible. Yeah, wouldn't suggest it, but that's just me. So okay, I did put them in here into the old burley marks. Okay, it's staying on there, and yeah, that worked out well because again, these are just cuttings and they didn't need to be in two separate pots, but I am really bummed that I took off that leaf, but here we are. All right, so next that I just don't have is my Shibriana, which is what I said that I needed to. So this might just stay in this pot and be okay. And then I really need to repot my pallidiflorum. But unfortunately, maybe I will just have to wait on that one too, unless I can find some soil in my greenhouse. Hold on. I found some other plants to combine / get rid of. I need to combine this one and this one because it's just ridiculous. And I'm going to get rid of these two because this is a Stanleyana albo that I just don't care about growing anymore. I have others. Sorry, done with that one. And then this is a Mandula pothos that I think I'm just going to put in the mix. Doesn't look happy, which I'm not sure why. Looks very yellow. Is that a golden globe? Randomly? I don't know. But anyways, whatever. And then it'll create some pots, larger pots for me as well to put some of, well, actually just one more into. This one is a pretty marble clean pothos. Oops, sorry. Okay, so we're going to combine, we're going to get rid of you. Or, yeah. I don't know. Or just stick it, you know what? I'm just going to stick it with the Mandula pothos in one. And we're going to call it a day. Okay, so now you've got one there. And now I'm going to stick this Snow Queen and this. Stick it in here. Okay. Need to, okay, water that guy. This is how the rest of my cabinet unfortunately looks right now. So, okay, those are there. So now I'm just going to worry about repotting this guy, and I probably am going to pot it up into this pot right here. I think, sorry, this one, gosh, I think that, I don't know, it gives it barely enough room. I will probably just put it in here. for now, unless one of these was larger. No, they're the same. Okay, they're the same. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna pot it up. This is sad. Usually you do 2 pot sizes up. This is like not even 1 pot size up, I feel like. But I just want to get it out of this plastic and just in a little bit chunkier. But you can see, wow, can you see the roots there? No, maybe not. It's too dark and the soil's too wet, but they look really happy and healthy. So I'm just gonna get rid of that. I thought about doing a self-watering planter on this guy, so maybe I will do that and a little later. But I'm just going to put it like that guy. Great, matches its leaf color, and we're done. And I think I might have, oh wait, I will take this sticker, put it in there. There you go. I think I might have enough to get away with doing my Shibariana in this larger pot now. And now I've created more space in my greenhouse cabinet too. So let's see here. Ooh. Okay, that's good. Which, there was not much that popped off, as you saw everywhere. But still a lot of room to grow, but all the roots are starting to wrap around the bottom. So I'm going to stick it in this bigger pot. Let's see how much soil we have left here. Just going to glaze it a bit. Dump half of it on the tabletop. It's okay. Alright, that actually filled in nicely. Look at that. And then I'll take what's on my desk, pop it on top. Okay, I actually got all of my plants that I needed potted up. Shockingly potted up. So there's my Ficus Shibariana, there's my Anthurium pallidiflorum. These are randoms that didn't need to be potted up, but sacrificed. There's my Aurea. There's my cute little frog that goes with my Shibariana. And then my Gloriosums and my Burleymarks Fantasy and my Epiprimnum Marble Queen. Wow. Okay, that was a short repot video, but thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe and we will see you next time.